Stop building bunkers. This Cold War survival trick still beats them all. Forget the concrete panic rooms. Forget the backyard bunkers that cost a fortune and promise more fear than safety. In the first 10 seconds, here's the truth most people never hear. During the Cold War, governments quietly relied on a survival method so effective, so low-tech, and so practical that it outperformed bunkers again and again. And honestly, it's still relevant today. This wasn't about hiding underground. It was about surviving in plain sight. The Cold War created a survival obsession. Everyone imagined mushroom clouds and sealed doors. But planners learned fast that most people would never make it to a bunker in time. The real solution had to work where people already lived. That's where this trick comes in. Bunkers look powerful on paper. Thick walls, steel doors, a sense of control. But Cold War analysts found 3 major problems. First, access. A bunker you can't reach in minutes is useless. Second, cost. Building and maintaining one was unrealistic for the average household. Third, psychology. Panic kills plans. People freeze, misjudge time, and make bad decisions. Governments knew this. That's why they stopped pushing bunker culture as the main answer. Instead, they focused on something quieter, something already around you. The most effective survival strategy wasn't a structure. It was a method. It was called shelter adaptation. Instead of building new bunkers, Cold War experts taught people how to turn ordinary buildings into protective shelters using simple physics and smart positioning. Basements, interior rooms, stairwells, underground parking levels. These weren't random choices. Radiation, blast pressure and heat all follow predictable rules. Distance matters. Mass matters. Barriers matter. A few feet of earth or concrete between you and danger can reduce radiation exposure dramatically, in some cases by more than 90%. No bunker required. Here's the part Hollywood never shows. Most Cold War survival plans assumed people would stay where they were, homes, offices, schools. The key was getting to the right part of the building fast. Interior rooms without windows, lower levels, spaces surrounded by heavy materials like concrete, brick and soil. These areas absorbed shock waves and blocked radiation far better than thin exterior walls. This wasn't theory. It was tested, again and again. Data from nuclear testing showed that people inside reinforced buildings, even relatively close to blast zones, had much higher survival rates than those outside or near windows. The trick wasn't escape, it was positioning. Bunkers, well, they assumed perfect timing and calm behavior. Shelter adaptation, on the other hand, assumed reality. People already know their buildings, you see. They can reach safe zones in just seconds. No special equipment is required, and there's no need for expensive construction. Really, it just comes down to knowledge and practice. Another overlooked advantage was ventilation. Many bunkers failed because of poor air circulation. Improvised shelters inside buildings allowed for controlled airflow once fallout settled, reducing long-term exposure risks. Cold War planners understood something important, you know. Survival isn't about fear, it's about familiarity. World War II taught governments a brutal truth. Civilian survival depends on preparation that works under stress. During bombing campaigns, people who knew where to go and what to do survived at much higher rates than those relying on last-minute decisions. This lesson carried straight into the Cold War. Instead of exotic shelters, authorities focused on drills, awareness, and simple modifications. Move heavy furniture away from windows. Identify central rooms. Reinforce doors with solid materials. Stock basic supplies where you already are. Simple actions, massive impact. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Modern threats haven't gone away. They've diversified. Natural disasters, infrastructure failures, urban emergencies. In every scenario, bunker thinking fails the same way. You won't have time to run. But, you know, shelter adaptation still works. It works during storms, it works during explosions, it works during chaos. Understanding your environment and using it intelligently will always really beat trying to outrun danger. This Cold War trick isn't outdated, it's timeless. More than anything, this was about mental readiness. Cold War survival manuals emphasized calm, decisive action, not heroics. Not panic, just movement to the right place and, well, staying put until conditions improved. People survived because they trusted simple plans, not because they built fortresses. And that's the part modern survival culture often forgets. Stop chasing bunker fantasies. The Cold War already tested them, you know. What survived wasn't concrete. It was strategy. Know your building. Identify safe zones. Reduce exposure. Stay informed. Act fast. These principles saved lives then, and, well, they'll save lives again. That's the survival trick that still beats them all. If this opened your eyes, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to 0 Hour Worldwar2 for more hidden lessons history tried to bury. Share this with someone who still thinks survival starts underground. And as always, stay curious, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next one.